Hey everyone, welcome back to Code with Ro. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated on our coding journey. Today we'll be diving into an exciting topic, CSS Grid. This powerful layout system will help you create complex, responsive designs with ease. So let's get started and learn the basics of CSS Grid. CSS Grid is a layout method designed for two-dimensional layouts, allowing us to position items in rows and columns. So first, let's start with a simple HTML structure. So what I'm going to do here is clear my style.css and my index.html in the body tag, and I'll add a div class called container. And in this container, I'm going to have a div class called grid container. And in this div, I'm going to have 6 items. So let's do div class is equal to grid item. And this is so we can put CSS on our class grid container and grid item separately. And then I'm just gonna put 1 through 6. So you can copy paste this and just change. So now hit Control Save and you'll see it pop up on the right side of the screen here. And now in our CSS, let's start defining our grid container. So as we know, in order to do any CSS with the class names, you put a period in front of it and then type in the class name, which is grid container. And I'll start by opening the curly brackets. And let's put in display grid. Next, I'm going to be adding a grid template columns, and I'll put in auto, auto, auto. And then in the next line, I'll do a gap of 10 pixels so it's more visible to us. Now when I hit Control Save, you'll see that we have basically 2 rows of 3 in this case. And if I were to expand it, it would remain the same. By setting display grid, we've created our grid container. And by setting grid template columns auto, 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 defines 3 columns of equal width. And the gap property adds space between our items. Now let's create CSS for our grid items. So we'll do grid items, open curly bracket, and let's do a background color of light blue. Now when I hit Control Save, no S. Now when I hit Control Save, you'll see the 10 pixels that we added here in the gap, and you'll see the grid template of how it's shaping our grid template columns. And now under that, I'll do a text align center to move the text to the middle. Underneath that, I will do a padding of 20 pixels. And now you'll see the boxes are a bit easier to see and a little bigger. Now let's make our grid responsive by using fractional units instead of auto. So now we can just do 1 FR, which is fractional units, and 1 FR. So now when you hit Control Save, it'll be the exact same thing. The 1 FR value divides the available space equally among the columns. As you resize the browser, the columns will now adjust accordingly on their own. Just like that. CSS Grid also allows us to create rows. Let's add more grid items to define our rows in our container. So now I'll just copy paste this and just add more rows underneath. But instead of 1, I'll do 7 to 12. And now in the grid container, I'll add grid template rows and set that to auto, auto. So auto and auto again. And now when I hit Control Save, you'll see nothing changed just yet. But the 2 rows with their height set to auto means that they'll adjust to the content size. And that's your introduction to CSS Grid. It's a powerful tool for creating 2-dimensional layouts with precision and flexibility. Experiment with different grid configurations and see how they change your layout. In our next lesson, we'll dive deeper into CSS Grid and explore more advanced concepts. If you have any questions or want to share your creations, drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more coding tutorials. Happy coding, see you in the next lesson.